Okay, thank you.
All right, good. So let's start. As you know, we are doing the history of capital scenes. This is the fifth meeting, yeah. And as usual, I'm going to share with you some notes, some reflections I got from, by studying this last capital scene. And of course, if you have comments, if you have question, if you have objection, you can interrupt me and you can speak. Yeah. In the second part, as usual, we're gonna make an exercise related to the topic. Yeah. So you know which capital are we going to face tonight? No? Yeah?
Grid.
Mm, okay, it's a kind of grid, yeah? It's a specific grid that can symbolize a grid in general. It's called gluttony, yeah? Gluttony is GLUTTONY, yeah? Gluttony. And yeah, basically, gluttony is the excess in eating and drinking. Yeah. So when you drink too much, when you eat too much, you are making this capital sin, gluttony. It's uh, it's the sin we do when we lose control, basically. Yeah. When we exaggerate in food or drink, we lose control of ourselves. So basically, we lack self-control. And when we lack self-control, it means that we lose freedom because we are ruled by an impulse. Um, let's say that drinking and eating becomes a necessity to feel the pleasure, a physical pleasure. It's not because we drink and we eat a bit because we need to survive. We eat and drink too much because we want to get the physical pleasure out of it. So basically, is a real strong desire that push us to satisfy our bodily appetites. And what is interesting is a bit the etymology. You know, this word comes from Latin, and in Latin is called gula. Gula. Yeah. In in Italian we have gola. How do you say that in Romanian?
We can call it lăcomie, but it also involves other things, not only food. We don't have a specific
You
one.
don't have a specific one for food?
There could be gourmand.
Say again,
Yeah.
Anka?
Gourmand.
Gourmand. Do you know the etymology of gourmand, Anka, or no? Can you check?
Yes.
I'm curious.
Hey, Romanian people, I think it can also be îmbuibare, which is a Bible verse regarding this specific sin.
Okay.
You know, when you eat too much or when you drink too much.
Okay, let's check both. So, Anka,
Yeah.
did you find something about your version?
It's from French. Gourmand.
Okay, which comes from gula or no?
Nope.
I don't know.
It doesn't come from gula. It's from Old French, and it means somebody who knows good food, like connoisseur also. Somebody who is passionate about good food.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it says comes from Old French, which means gluten.
Okay.
But I'm
And gluten is gluttony, you know?
yeah.
It comes from gula. So, in a way, all the etymology is the same, I guess. Is gula from Latin, and then there are different versions in Italian, in English, in French and in Romanian as well. Can you check Andrea's proposal? Can you repeat, Andrea?
Sure, it is îmbuibare.
Okay, I'm curious. Here, I think it's more difficult. That is the same root since the sound is different, but let's check.
I think îmbuibare is more in the direction of filling oneself with food, the act of eating itself.
Yeah, it's the verb. It refers to the verb, not to the adjective or epithet or whatever we call it.
Okay, did you find
Action.
something, Anka?
No, it's yeah, I also found that it's the verb. It's the action too.
Okay, last question, then we go on. How do you say in Romanian throat?
Good.
Good. And
How?
that good.
Good. Good.
And that's why it's related to the Latin gluttony, because it's this glut.
It comes from, okay, gula.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah,
Glotto.
exactly. So gula in Latin means, I have two meanings, let's say. A literal meaning, which is throat, this part, okay, of the body, which in a way symbolize the passage through which the food and breath as well move. Yeah. But also it means gluttony and greediness, like Luisa said before. Yeah, in eating, specifically in eating. Yeah. So gula has this double meaning: physical one and moral one. Moral is greedy in eating. Yeah. And what is interesting is that for, I don't know if you know, but for Middle Ages thinkers, they were used to identify every sin in a specific part of the body. For example, okay, gluttony was the throat, but also the stomach, sometimes the mouth as well, yeah, and symbolize the appetites. And last was symbolized from the flesh, yeah, last, the desire, sexual desire. And wrath, we spoke about wrath, was symbolized from the chest. Envy, Sorin, was symbolized from eyes. Yeah, eyes symbolize envy. And avarice, for example, it was symbolized from hands. Yeah, you know, avarice, you don't give, you keep for yourself. You keep with your hands stuff. Yeah. Anyway, so basically, the sin of gluttony is not only about eating too much, but in general is also seen, was seen, especially in Middle Ages, as living for the pleasure of eating. So you don't see eating just an action that is necessary for you to survive, but it becomes an end in itself. You know, there are people around. I mean, I don't know many people in Italy and in this city specifically that they tend to live and their main scope and goal in life is eating well. Yeah. So, for I don't know if you have such people. I think they are everywhere. Yeah. The main drive for waking up in the morning is to eat something good. Yeah. And it's interesting because we say usually, especially from a philosophical point of view, that what distinguish people, humans, from animals is the capacity of reasoning. While in those cases, I would say is you know, animal eat for living, to survive, and some humans spend their life to eat in a way, yeah, to eat well. So they want to eat well, better than animals, but that's their main aim in life. So in that case, from this point of view, also from the Christian point of view, you are possessed by the pleasure. So you are losing balance inside yourself. You are losing inner freedom. And in a way, it's a sin also because you're not respecting the hierarchy that God gave to humans. You know that even Sant'Agostino wrote that there is an hierarchy from God perspective. Hierarchy means that there are some values that are more important than others. Yeah. So when you commit a sin, basically you are not respecting that hierarchy that God wanted. In this case, you are putting the value of eating in a too much important position. For example, you're giving more important to, I don't know, eating that loving or loving God or praying God. Yeah. So in a way, when you're possessed by this strong desire that becomes also necessity, you lose your freedom and you become impotent. Yeah. Because you are not able anymore to exercise moderation. You cannot manage your own impulse and desires. So, in a way, you become a prisoner of a part of yourself. Yeah, there is a part of yourself that takes over you and takes over your life, and this is a lack of freedom. Yeah, and the opposite virtue of gluttony is temperance. Yeah. So the temperance is the ability to enjoy without exaggeration. Yeah. You can enjoy different things, but you never become slave of one of these things. So basically you don't let these things to take over you, to take over your existence. And so far, so good. Any questions? Any comments? Let me check. No?
I was thinking about a soup recipe.
About what?
About the soup recipe while you were talking.
Super recipe, what is it?
A recipe to make soup.
A recipe to make soup. So,
Yes.
okay, and what can you make the link, the connection with the gluttony?
So, yeah, to be um to think that pleasure, eating by pleasure is important, for pleasure is important.
Okay. So you're saying that we want to cook a very good soup with a very good recipe are people that tend to commit this sin of gluttony.
Yeah, I don't, so far from this definition, it would be uh, like this. I don't agree with it, but with this definition, it seems that people who are passionate about food and are just not eating when they're hungry and just eat whatever is available, they transform this into an art.
Okay, but you said that you disagree with that, right?
Yeah, I would say I
Can
disagree that it is a
can you
sin.
explain why?
Oh, yeah. Um, I would um I would think it's rather in the context um of the times where food was scarce. So doing a making a passion out of making an art of something that it's so rare could be considered a sin. But now there is food is much more available, even if there are people who are still not having access to food.
Okay. So for you, it this sin it was easier to commit, for example, in Middle Ages, where there were much more poor people than now, and people were starving, right?
Yeah, I'm saying that it made much more sense to be a sin
Ah,
than
okay.
in that context than in
Okay.
the context today.
And how do you explain that even today there are people that still keep committing this sin, even if we live in a, let's say, a better life than 500 years ago compared to normal people, let's say?
Oh, well, I said something else.
Yeah,
I
but
said,
yeah, how do you explain this anyway?
okay, so how do I explain that people are committing this sin
Yeah,
now?
nowadays.
It's not considered a sin anymore.
Okay, yeah, okay. That let's not call it a sin. Yeah, how do you explain that nowadays people tend to exaggerate with food?
Oh, could be because um it is related to pleasure because food gives you pleasure, not only uh, taste, but also when you look at it. So people who are
Okay,
passionate by cooking,
is the
it's
looking for the pleasure? Yeah,
yes, it's looking for the pleasure.
okay. It happens to you sometimes that you eat more for the pleasure that you get out of it than
Yes,
for the real need to eat something. Yeah.
yes.
Ah, okay, okay. So you understand this, yeah, I mean, that it is possible that even nowadays people can exaggerate in eating and drinking.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, okay, okay. Okay. Then in a bit I will propose you another explanation to to explain why this phenomenon is maybe more popular nowadays than in ancient times. Yeah. So, any other comments? No? I saw that Luisa wrote something, I guess. Latin gula derived from the Latin glutire means to gulp down and swallow. Yeah. Means overindulgence and over consumption of anything to the point of waste. Yeah, okay. Okay. All right. And okay, Anka, another explanation about why people can exaggerate with food is the idea of compensation. Yeah. Do you know the idea of compensation?
Yeah.
How would you define compensation?
So if you have lack, if you lack something, you add something else to. mm, I think you are referring to psychological um, states, like when you feel down, you add pleasure, you compensate with the pleasure that food gives you.
Okay, so when you feel down, it means that you have, let's say, a kind of sadness inside. So there is a problem in your, let's say, soul dimensions, your psychological or emotional dimension. And you
Mhm.
try to compensate that lack. Let's say you need something, but you don't know or you don't get it. But you compensate with another stuff from another dimension, a physical pleasure, for example. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, and by the way, I don't know if you know a bit. I have been studying in the past Freud, Sigmund Freud. He tend to speak about oral compensation. Yeah, it's an interesting concept, and basically, from a psychological and psychoanalytic point of view, gluttony works as a way to, let's say, compensate a psychological need. So it's a when the person tries to is not able to get what he wants. Let's say that you need love, yeah, and you're frustrated because you don't get love, yeah. So you can compensate in another form, for example, by eating, yeah. It's quite common and popular, at least in Italy, that especially women, when they are sad, they get ice cream and they start watching a movie and eating ice cream. Not because they need eating, but because they need to compensate something psychological, internal, it's not the physical.
It's actually called comfort food. It's
Comfort food,
coined
yeah.
coined like this in psychology
Yeah, comfort
because it
food.
gives you a sensation of comfort. It consoles you somehow.
Exactly. Yes, yes. And in a way, we could say that when the person is not able to feed his soul from an emotional point of view, psychological, or rational or spiritual point of view, the person try to feel that emptiness in an immediate way, yeah, physical way. Yeah, comfort food, exactly. For Freud, there was he was calling this phenomenon a regression to the oral stage. Yeah. So it's interesting because in a way, when we eat, it's never just something physiological. Yeah. The food as something more for humans than physiological. It symbolized, for example, care, presence, or beloved. Yeah, I remember when I was a child, but also now, the few times I see my parents, usually my mother prepares me a lot of food. Yeah, and I remember my mother was giving me a lot of food, and I discovered at one point that was her way to say to me, "I love you." Yeah, she never said it, but she was cooking a lot. Yeah, so food had a psychological dimension, an emotional dimension, and relational dimension between me and my mother. Yeah, so sometimes I was stuffed, but she was insisting me to eat. So in a way, it was more her need than me to eat than my real need. And if I don't know if you have this stuff in Romanian with
Yeah,
mother
sounds like
especially.
genuine Romanian mother.
Genuine, you said?
Yeah, it sounds like a genuine Romanian mother.
Oh, you have this relation between mother and son or daughters, yes?
Yes.
Yeah. It was funny because I felt the pressure when I was eating that, for example, if would leave something in the dish, my mother would be sad, was like, what was wrong? Or, for I was risking to let my mother down a lot if I didn't finish everything, yeah. So I had to choose if becoming fat or showing love to my to my mother.
Yeah, but that could be something else.
What?
Like like she makes the effort to cook and you should get appreciation.
Okay, but even in this, I agree with you, Anka. Even in this case, it's not just about physiological need. You see, it's a matter of recognition, and recognition is a relational need that you have among person. It can be like I said, it can be different stuff. It can be care, presence, you're right, recognition. It can be love, yeah. It can be more things among these together, but all of these things are different than just eating to survive, yeah.
Mhm. But it's also known to release dopamine in our brains, eating. So it's also um, physiological in this sense that we get
Okay.
these kind of hormones,
Okay.
which
But
are,
you see that also when you hug your mother or your father or your brother, you have a physiological reaction in your mind and in your body. So
yes.
what you said is right, but is a bit undifferentiated because you can get dopamine from eating and dopamine from a kiss. Yeah.
Mhm.
So in a way, this doesn't help us to distinguish if eating is more physical or psychological. It can be both, you know. It could be just more psychological than physiological, and it could have anyway a consequence of your dopamine and your physiological system. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
that in a way is also this is an interesting phenomenon that Freud speaks about also is called sublimation. Yeah. For example, when you have a drive, a sexual drive, yeah, it's not towards reproducing yourself, but you move this drive from to other goals, cultural goals. For example, you draw a paint, or you write a book, or you I don't know, you do sport. Yeah, it's a sublimation. You use that energy, but you deviate that energy from the original natural scope. Yeah. So in a way, there is an interdimension between psychological, emotional, and physical and physiological. Yeah. You agree, Anka, about this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was an example of how the sublimation, I didn't quite understand the connection. It was just an example that there is another way to move from one dimension to another.
Yes, exactly. In a way, it was another example to show that we can consider the sexual drive as something that has to do with reproducing, so the physical, natural body, yeah, but you can use the energy to do something cultural, something rational, and you can. It's the same energy, but you deviate the energy from the natural biological goal. Yeah, so it was a way to show you the interesting interdimension in human beings. Yeah, so in a way, everything can have consequence in both dimension, physiological or symbolic or cultural or psychological. Yeah. But of
Yeah.
course, for some, I mean, we can then differentiate. Maybe for you, I don't know, eating has less importance from a psychological point of view than for another person. Yeah. But anyway, there is that side of eating. Yeah. At least in humans. Yeah. There is a cultural element. Yeah. For example, there are people, they cannot eat by themselves, they have to eat with others. Yeah, so they don't accept to eat alone, so which means that they connect the act of eating with a cultural dimension of sharing. Yeah, so if you cannot share, you cannot eat. Yeah, do you eat alone, Anka, sometimes? No.
Yes.
Yeah, but you prefer eating
All the
with
time.
others, I guess.
Um,
No.
I prefer eating with others for the conversation, not for the
Okay.
eating.
I don't know if it's here, but I met Alexandra last year to Timișoara, and it was, I don't know if I can to say this, but it was interesting because I noticed that we went to get kebab somewhere one night, and we were eating in the park. Me, Luca, Samuel, and Julia. And Alexandra, she bought the kebab, but she was the only one not to eat. Yeah. I was like, why don't you eat the kebab? And she told me, I prefer to eat by myself, which is a bit strange because in Italy, usually it's the opposite. Yeah. In Italy, eating culturally is something you're supposed to share with people. And when you share with people, in a way, you enjoy more the meal. Yeah. So it's a kind of celebration of life eating together. Yeah. There are people that spend a lot of money just to make a great dinner with colleagues, for example. Yeah, because for them is a value. There is a cultural value in that ritual. It's a ritual, yeah, cultural ritual. But you see, some people prefer to eat by themselves. Like you can ask Alexandra; she will tell you. Yeah. Anyway, just to finish this Freud parenthesis, I want to explain to you a bit the mechanism that Freud explained about this regression. Yeah. I don't know if you're familiar with the concept of fixation. Do you know fixation? No? Luisa, can you explain?
It's like a persistent focus on something. That's, I think, in Freudian theory, but it's related to the development of the baby in his
Okay.
theory.
Yes. So in a way, yeah,
The baby
fixation.
makes a fixation basically in an unresolved stage of his early development.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Right. So fixation, yes, is the when the libido, which is the sexual original energy everybody has in himself, arrest is blocked in one of the phases, infantile phases of the sexuality development. Yeah, I don't know if you know that there is basically is oral one is the first one in the first year, and then there is the anal one is the second and third year, and then there is
Phallic, the phallic one
phallic one,
second.
3, 4, 5 years. Yeah, this is the main three. Then we have two more. But this is the most important one. And the idea by Freud is that sometimes when you are frustrated, for example, you don't get enough of feeding from the breast of your mother, you can have fixation in that phase. Yeah, or because of the opposite, when you are feed too much from your mother, you get fixation as well in that phase. So basically, because of frustration or because of excess of gratification, your part of a good part of your libido gets stuck there. Yeah, and specifically when you get stuck in the oral phase, this have a consequence in your adult personality. Yeah, this is at least a Freud interpretation. We don't need to agree with him. Yeah, for example, what can happen to the adult that has this fixation in oral phase is the looking for uh, oral gratification all the time. For example, it can
Look,
be
I'm doing it now. I'm
good.
doing this all the time. I'm doing this all the time with my lips. I'm biting my lips. I'm touching my lips. This is a form of a fixation on the oral phase.
Okay, so you're revealing your fixation now. Okay.
Because I'm doing it, so I'm really thinking of
Okay, you know, Luisa, so as other people, for example, they have to have a chewing gum all the time in the mouth, yeah? Other people smokes a lot, for example. Smoking for Freud is a way to get oral gratification because your libido is fixed there, yeah? And other people, says Freud, they look for gratification in oral way by overeating. Overeating. And this overeating would be gluttony, basically. Yeah. So this is an interesting psychoanalytic explanation of this religious sin, let's say. Yeah. Anyway, to finish, if you don't have questions, I have two, three things more, and then we can open the discussion and make the exercise. Um, let's say that in general terms, we could say that when we fail to feed our soul, we tend to compensate with physical food. Yeah. So every time I see a person that tend to give too much importance to food, usually it rings a bell for me, and I say to myself, okay, this person has a lack inside his or her soul. Yeah, there is a. It happens to me as well. When there are some days I cannot write, for example, I don't find the time to write, or I didn't study that much, that I feel that I need to eat more than usual. Yeah. So in a way, I need to compensate the lack I have in my soul, yeah, with physical pleasure. Yeah. And just to finish, so eating becomes a form of consolation for humans often. Yeah, consolation. You know that it means reducing the pain of the soul. So when you have some problem in your life, you can always use eating as a form of consolation. Yeah. But there is a big problem here, a big problem that doesn't make this consolation, let's say, work too much, which is the idea that there is no material food that can satisfy, authentically satisfy, this spiritual hunger we have in our soul. Yeah. So basically, gluttony could start from a attempt of consolation. But since this consolation is never enough, you tend to exaggerate with something, for example, food. And in this way, you end up to have a vice. Yeah. But a vice is still something you can choose. Yeah. You can regulate a bit. But when it is even worse than vice, it becomes an addiction. Yeah. And addiction, you don't have freedom anymore to choose, because when you are addicted, you're really possessed by that action or that material. So addiction is even worse than vice. Yeah, you are not able to decide anymore. You cannot stop, for example. Usually addicted people have time to stop, have a hard time to stop. They need help to stop. It means that they don't decide anymore. They are ruled by something else. Yeah. Okay, that was the last reflection I wanted to share with you. Any before the exercise, I would like to collect some ideas or maybe some reflection, something to deepening this vice or this topic. Maybe if you want to share, like Luisa did before, some personal experience of uh, gluttony, yeah, or in that case, oral fixation expression. Anka, you look sad.
I was thinking if, because I'm looking at Luisa's definition of the word
Oh, in the chat.
in the chat,
Yeah.
and thinking about what you said, I was wondering if gluttony needs to have this dimension of overdoing and compensation, overdoing on one side from the definition, and compensation, psychological compensation on the example you gave, in order to be gluttony.
Okay.
Because I mentioned at the beginning that some people, let's say it's not about overeating, but eating quality food or
Okay.
good food.
Okay, Anka, good. Can you make now a short, clear question out of this your intuition, let's say? the problem you are seeing right now?
Okay. Is gluttony is eating good quality food without overindulging or eating from psychological reasons is called gluttony?
Okay. Okay, nice question. Thank you. Do you have an hypothesis to answer, or you don't have any clue?
Let's go with no.
Okay. Can you now give a reason why you don't think when you eat just to get pleasure without exaggerating is not gluttony?
Because, well, I said good quality food.
Okay. Is good quality food is supposed to be good. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. So why is not gluten in that case?
Because it could go to taking care of your body.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
don't do it for the pleasure, but for the care.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. I would agree. I would tend to agree with you. But do you see when it can become a gluttony, a vice, or even an addiction?
Yes.
Can you explain when?
When it's over, when it becomes an obsession, it
Okay.
also it even if it's for the care of the health, it could also become an obsession. Like there are groups of women who just do that
By
from
the way,
morning.
I just discovered last year that there is a name to indicate this pathology when you are obsessed with taking care of yourself and to, for example, to eat just healthy food. You know how it's called?
No.
I know in Italian, I don't know if I can translate. Is in Italian is ortoressia. Ortoressia. I don't know. Do you have the name, Luisa? You know how it's called in English or in Romanian? You have in
It's
Romanian?
also no, we took it from English, but it's also with ortho and recto because it's the same.
Ortho, it means correct, basically.
Yeah,
So you know people that when they go to shop, they have to spend 5 minutes in front of every product to check all the ingredients, to check if everything is correct. It can be good, yeah.
yeah, it's
When
a pathology. Orthorexia is considered in the how do you call this? The psychological range of
okay,
pathologies is considered a pathology.
yes. So even when you care too much about yourself and carry becomes an obsession, that's a pathology. It's not gluttony, it's the opposite maybe, yeah, but it's still a problem, yeah. But my question was when you think the relationship with food becomes gluttony. What do you need to have in the relation with food in order to call it gluttony?
To be of great importance.
Okay.
Like
So now
you
what?
mentioned that uh, it's more important than love, relationships, other kinds of occupations.
Okay, but when you give too much importance to food because you want to care about yourself, like you said, it's not gluttony. You're right? You agree?
Um, it is. Oh, okay.
You agree it's not gluttony, or you think it's gluttony as well?
I think when you give too much importance, because care of the self implies also something else. It's not just the body. So if just caring about the body is that's the most important thing, probably it could be called gluttony.
Oh, you would call gluttony even people that eat very good, but they give too much importance to food, right? Or no? It sounds strange.
It sounds a bit strange.
Yeah, that's orthorexic, by the way. Yeah, or that's orthorexic. So I'm trying to help you or to help I mean the group
Yeah.
through you to think what is the basic element in the relation with food that transform that relation in gluttony, in a sin. Can you say it or no?
Well, overconsumption, I would say.
Overconsumption. So what was the concept behind overconsumption? The problem?
Exaggeration.
Exaggeration. All right. Yeah. Good. So do you agree that in this case is gluttony? Not when you want
Yes.
to, like you said before, if you want to eat well or if you want to take care to yourself through food, is maybe is another problem, like Luisa proposed before, but it's not gluttony, it's something different. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. And Luisa and Bogdan, you wanted to propose exaggeration as a concept before, or
Yeah,
you
I
want to?
wanted to propose exaggeration because actually, for example, I think it's Thomas d'Aquino who proposes 5 ways of treating gluttony, and one of them is, for example, eating in a very fast way. So not even eating good food or just the way
When you
you
don't
eat.
resist and you are in a rush and you eat in maybe
Very fast,
too
yeah.
quickly, too quick.
Yeah, eating very quickly. He considers even this gluttony, not only
Yeah,
eating very good food or too much food. So he refers also to the way of eating, not only the food ingested.
yeah. You see those people that they are fighting with the food because yeah they want to
There
go
are
too
these
quick.
these contests also, where you can eat
Yes,
thousands
yes,
of
yes.
kilos of food and you win. I think that's really crazy.
Okay, that's let's
In
say
the fastest time, that's the point. You have to do it really fast.
yeah, that's a contest for gluttony people that gluttony contest competition. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's also eating fast, or with greed also. Eating greedily also. It's a way of showing gluttony.
Okay. Okay.
So exaggeration in all of them. It's something that is exaggerated. It's either the quantity of food, the quality of food, or the act of eating itself. It's exaggerated.
Yeah. And by the way, another problem, I was speaking with a doctor a few times ago uh, that told me that a problem that is not moral problem is a physiological problem when you eat too quick, that you don't give the time to the food to arrive to the stomach. So in a way, for you it's harder to know how to stop when you are complete, when you are satisfied. Because in a way, a good habit for people want to get a diet, yeah, is to eat slow. Because when you eat slow, you give that the time, the food to reach the stomach, and a way you feel satisfied before you eat everything you are supposed to eat, for example. Yeah.
Actually,
So
digestion becomes starts with the mouth. So you can eat something really small, but if you chew it a long, long time, you give the signal to the brain basically that you are becoming satisfied. So the slower you eat, the more satisfied you are, and you have to eat less.
yes, yes. And by the way, that's another problem, another reason why chewing gum they create problem
Mm-hmm.
because in a way, when you have a chewing gum in your mouth, you are sending a message to your brain and your stomach that food is coming, but food is
Yeah.
not coming.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
basically, the stomach get prepares and it start to produce this acid stuff,
Acids.
but
Yeah.
food is not coming, so that acid are basically going against the stomach itself.
Yeah. You erode your stomach basically when you chew gum.
Yeah, yeah. So it's interesting to see that even if we spoke about this thing from let's say religious and philosophical point of view, there are also science that in a way convey that it's better to eat less quick or is it's better not to exaggerate with food and stuff like that. But it's interesting that in a way is a double problem. Is a physiological problem, and at the same time is a problem of the soul. Yeah, is a problem of the mind. Yeah, of the way you think, the way you relate with food. Yeah. So in a way, to make a good diet, sometimes you need good psychologists. Yeah, people that not just give you the advice what to eat, but that they can tell what, let's say, wrong with you in your relation with food. Yeah. Okay. So sorry, you have something to say about it? Was I don't know. Any idea you found interesting, or any interesting idea you want to share about this?
I was thinking that today I had a discussion with one of my colleagues about smoking, and I immediately made a connection with the oral fixation because I read in the past about oral fixation.
But you were speaking about fixation in this conversation, or just smoking in
No,
general?
no,
Okay.
only the smoking and the act of giving up on smoking. And I thought about this oral fixation idea.
Yeah. Do you smoke, Sorin?
Yes,
You
but I don't want to give it up yet, like my colleague.
okay. You don't want to stop.
No, not now.
Can you just say what represent for you smoking? Why for you is it so important?
Mm, It gives me this feeling that it relaxes me.
Okay, so for you, it's an
And
action that help you to relax.
yes,
Okay, which means that without smoking, you have hard time to relax.
this is what I think at least. Yes, I didn't
Okay,
try it,
okay,
but
yeah, okay. So in a way, is a way to deal with your own anxiety, right?
yes,
Okay, yeah. I mean, I tend to agree because usually smokers they're not relaxed people. They tend to be anxious people. Yeah.
uh,
Okay.
really, yeah. I
Did you
didn't,
notice that?
I didn't monitor that,
Okay, but try
but
to,
I
I mean,
will pay more
try to
attention.
observe your colleagues and tell me next time if they're relaxed or not. Yeah. Why would, I mean, if you think, yeah, why would you smoke otherwise if you were okay with yourself? Yeah. It wouldn't be a vice in that case, by the way. Yeah.
There are many other reasons. For example, you want to smoke so that you look more confident or more
Okay.
cool or more.
Okay. But do you agree if that if you want to smoke to show that you are confident and more cool, you are not very okay with your own image? You agree?
I had a small connection issue. Can
Oh,
you
I saw.
repeat, please?
I saw it. Yeah. Okay. So do you agree that if you want to, if you smoke to appear more confident with others, yeah, more cool, uh,
Yes.
it means that you're not really okay with your image, social image.
Mm,
You need something more. You think is not enough what you are to show
yes.
to others. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And do you agree that when you
It's
have
also a
this,
form of compensation.
okay, in a way, it's another form of anxiety. You agree? When you are
Yes.
worried
Yes.
about how other people perceive you, it's not it's a form of anxiety, no? So do you agree
Yes.
that usually smokers are anxious people?
I'm not sure if I can generalize like that.
Okay, but Sorin, why you are afraid to generalize?
Because generalization is usually not true. So when
Okay,
you generalize things about all the people, let's say, it usually isn't true. It's very hard to
Okay. Did you notice
make
that you just
generalizations that are true.
did you notice that you just generalized by saying that usually generalization are not true, yeah? So it's not
Yes,
true,
yes.
right? Okay, let me propose to you that we should distinguish, let's say, legitimate generalization like science provide, yeah? For example, the physics principles are legitimate generalization from the illegitimate generalization. Yeah. For example, you see a person with just one leg, and you conclude that every person has one leg. Yeah, that's not a legitimate generalization. So the problem
Exactly.
here is not about generalization itself. The question is, why don't you find this generalization legitimate? That smokers tend to be anxious people. Tends doesn't mean everyone, yeah? It means that usually they are anxious. What's the problem with this generalization?
Because I didn't analyze the people that smoke around me from
Okay.
this point of view, if they are anxious or not.
And how many people you
So I
need
cannot
to
be sure about this.
and how many people you need to examine before you are sure? Give me a number.
Good question. um, Maybe 80% of the smokers I know.
Oh, okay, how many smokers you know?
Oh, let me count.
Okay, more or less 50?
No,
Less.
maximum 20, let's say.
Okay, so you need to examine 16 people, right?
Yeah, around. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think it's possible to, let's say, conclude this generalization by checking, let's say, 50% or no?
Now I'm not sure about the 80% either, because if I study only the smokers around me, I cannot generalize this to the smokers that I do not know, or about the smokers,
Okay.
smoking people that I do not know.
Okay. You're a very insecure person, right, Surin?
Yes.
You
Is
need
it visible?
okay, in the way you relate with the percentage, yeah, it's visible, yeah. You need to be sure before to affirm something. It's true?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. But do you see the problem when you do that in your life or no? Do you see that
Mm,
this insecurity, which problem this insecurity creates for you? The main one.
that I cannot
You cannot?
I cannot affirm things in a certain way.
Okay. And
Maybe
what do you do instead of affirming things? What do you do?
I express my uncertainty. I say things like I'm not sure, or
Okay. And when you
maybe,
are
or
uncertain, do you tend to make a decision or do you tend to avoid decision when you feel so uncertain?
yeah, I tend to usually avoid decisions.
Okay. Do you see the problem now? That in a way you escape from the freedom of your existence because you need to be sure, yeah? But what if I tell you that not even science and scientists are sure 100% about what they say? They deal more with probability. So usually we have an idea of science different than scientists, yeah? So in a way we have a religious relationship with science than scientists tend not to have. They say I'm not sure about that, but it's probable at least. It's probable, yeah? Can you accept the idea of probability? So in a way, what is probable, you you go for it, you accept it, or no? You need to be sure.
Mm, it depends on the decision that depends on that probability.
Okay, you see, you just confirm that you cannot make a choice because you answer
Yes.
it depends. You see how insecure you are? Okay,
Yes, yes.
but just for finish, um, is it a problem for you this hard time to make choice in your life, or no? You're fine with it.
I cannot say it made me so big problems until now.
Okay, so you're fine. You prefer not to avoid when you can making choices.
Yes.
Does
Yes.
it work? Yeah,
Yeah.
but you smoke.
Yes.
Okay, maybe there is a little side effect about this lack of taking decision.
Of course, of course.
Okay, okay.
It's a little bit of anxiety there.
Yeah, but at least you know and you are sure that you don't want to quit with smoking, right?
For now, yes. For now,
Yeah,
this is certainty, yes.
okay. All right, all right. Did you like our discussion, Sorin?
Yes, yes.
Why? Tell me something you liked about it.
Because we went step by step through the logical connections between the
Okay.
principles, let's say.
And did you discover something about yourself, or you knew everything already, or something surprised you about yourself?
This part about making decisions, I didn't think about it this way until now.
Okay, okay, good.
Yeah.
That's why we do this stuff to surprise sometimes, if we can, people, yeah, about
Yes.
themselves. This is the difference between philosophy, academic philosophy, and philosophical practice. You see, here we deal with the abstract ideas, but then we enter in a dialogue with the real people, and we try to make people resonate or know with the concept. Yeah, that
Mm.
was the idea of Socrates in a way. Yeah, and some people don't like it, some people like it a lot. So I hope you belong to the second group.
Yeah, it's not always pleasant, but the
But
conclusions,
you see the worthy of it or no?
yes, of course, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why is not pleasant? Can you say why? What is the less pleasant in the process?
Because it takes you in the direction of your vulnerabilities, let's say.
Okay, it's the idea of knowing yourself. You
The
see,
idea
if
of,
you want to know yourself, knowing yourself.
We
I
cannot.
cannot hear you.
Can you hear now? No?
Yes, now yes.
Okay, I was saying that yes, that's the idea exactly of knowing yourself. Knowing yourself usually is connected with knowing your weak points, your vulnerabilities. Yeah, usually we hide our weak points. Yeah, we make
Yes,
up, we fake, we are better than we are. Yeah, but in the Socratic dialogue, Socrates was pushing people to reconcile with themselves, which of course in public is maybe more difficult than in private, but in a way everyone has this vulnerability. So I hope you like the idea that maybe we have different vulnerability, but we are in the same we say boat in Italy. I don't know if you have this way to say we are in the same boat. Yeah.
yes.
Okay, thank you, Sorin. And let's see if anyone
Thank you
else
too.
want to say something. Andrea, Bogdan, or Alex? Bogdan, anything interesting about gluttony? Did you commit this sin in your life?
No, I don't think I have an oral fixation. I think I have a healthy relationship with food, but
Too healthy or healthy?
it's interest healthy.
Healthy. Okay. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
But it's interesting, this idea of seeking pleasure.
Okay, can you say what is interesting about it?
Uh, because it highlights some profound mechanism of our behavior. We, yeah,
You mean
pleasure is,
seeking for the pleasure as a form of compensation of something different, something that we cannot feel?
um, yeah, I think more than that. The idea of pleasure as a direction,
Ah, okay,
as a
an end in itself.
as a motivation. Yeah.
Ah, okay, okay. By the way, you know how it's called in, let's say, philosophy, when you put pleasure as the main goal of your life?
Mm.
Hedonism.
Hedonism.
Yeah, hedonism. Hedone in Greek means pleasure. Yeah. So in a way, it can be a form of life, hedonism. Yeah. You know, people that live to
Yes.
get pleasure. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I know many philosophical schools put it as a principle of life, but they also gave some, try to create a healthy relationship with pleasure.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
By the way,
Epicureanism,
I
basically.
know, yeah, about Epicure.
yeah. Even if Epicuro was inviting people to reduce as much as possible the needs. Yeah. Just
Yes.
natural needs was accepted, not artificial or not natural needs. For example, recognition for him, it was a need that we should avoid. Yeah, the idea is that the less needs we have, the more free we are. Because when you have a need, you cannot choose. You have to feed it. You have to uh, go for it. But if you have less need, okay, you have more freedom. By the way, I don't have anything against pleasure. I get pleasure when I reason, when I write, when I stuff. The problem is when we get slave of the pleasure. Yeah. Sometimes I'm bored and I use that boring moment to write anyway. Yeah. So it can, if you are not able to go out from the pleasure, you would not write in that moment. Yeah. So the pleasure can be a drive, but what is important is not is that you don't let the pleasure to take over you, and that's the problem with hedonist. Yeah, hedonist people, they they need pleasure, otherwise they cannot do it something. Yeah, are you hedonist, Bogdan, or no? You don't look hedonist.
Then I'm not.
Oh, I remember from last summer, you're a moral guy. So moral usually is the opposite of hedonist. They don't, moral people usually don't let themselves to have pleasure. Yeah. Maybe you should be more hedonistic. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have a complicated relationship with pleasure, so
Okay. That's why maybe
I don't
you
know what
found
to say.
interesting this mechanism we pointed
Mm.
out during the first part of the session. Yeah. About pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
know that it's something that is a main motivation for human behavior.
yeah, yeah. But it's true that especially in moral, let's say, religious countries like Italy, like Romania, like others, uh, like China as well, pleasure is a problem in itself. Yeah. In a way, if you feel pleasure, you feel guilty straight away. Yeah. So in that case, I would invite people to try to disconnect the pleasure from guilty. Yeah. So in a way, hedonistic should reduce this addiction to pleasure, but moral people, religious people, they should accept more the pleasure in their life. Yeah. So you belong to the second category, Bogdan. Yeah. You should reconcile with pleasure a bit.
I think so, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. I hope the reasoning could be a way to reconcile with pleasure. I hope that reasoning is a pleasure activity for you. Is it?
Yes.
Okay. So, do you feel guilty when you reason?
No, of course not.
Okay, okay. But it's pleasure anyway, yeah? Ah, okay, maybe you have a problem with, not with intellectual pleasure, but with physical pleasure.
Yeah,
Ah, okay, okay,
yeah.
okay. I see, I see, I see. All right. So Anka, homework to I don't know make a a pie, a very good pie for your brother next time. With create a lot of pleasure when you eat it. Yeah, a Romanian pie. Are you good to cook,
Your
Anka?
your presupposition that I can make a pie is wrong.
You're not an authentic Romanian mother. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because I have the same um
Oh, bad relation with physical pleasure.
yes, and
Ah, okay. But is a cultural stuff or is a family stuff? Can you
I
say?
don't know. I think it's a family. My father used to say that that saying that uh, you should eat to live, not live to eat.
Ah, okay,
And
okay,
mother was not a excellent cook, so
okay.
and
So
he was
physical
just an average.
physical pleasure was a bit a taboo in your family, especially connected to food. Yeah,
Yes, to everything.
to everything. Oh,
But
okay, all
yes,
right. That's why you prefer intellectual. You let yourself to have intellectual pleasure, but you still have hard time to let yourself physical pleasure. Yeah. All
yeah.
right, but I have the impression it's a bit cultural. Maybe in your family was part specific, but Sorin, Luisa, can you help me? Do you think it's cultural, this problem with physical pleasure?
In Romania, you mean?
Yeah,
Mm, yeah, I think it's connected with religion, first of all. I see it a lot because guilt infuses, I mean, religion infuses this idea of guilt for physical pleasure. So Romania is very orthodox still. And it may be connected even to the communist years when you could not really find too many physical pleasures. I mean, food was scarce and you had to connect more to intellectual pleasures. That's why, for example, Romanian people read a lot during communism and they don't do it today. There's like a very big difference between communist years and right now. Now we have a lack of people reading books, while during communism, I think we were very, very literate and reading a lot.
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
people had a little pleasure, physical pleasure, so they indulged more with mental pleasures, maybe listening to music or reading books and things like this.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, you made me think that when I was studying a bit about gluttony, I read that for a lot of people, pleasure um, can symbolize existence. Yeah. So in a way, you get pleasure in order to affirm your existence, to exist more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you affirm yourself through pleasure.
Yeah. So my question, because I'm curious right now, people who have hard time to let themselves get pleasure, how do they tend to affirm their own existence? Is a question for the group. I just thought it now. I didn't think before.
But you still connect only to physical pleasure or to pleasure in general.
No, in general, physical. How do you say? For example, Luisa, I would say that people who have hard time to let themselves have pleasure, they tend to exist more through pain.
Yes, masochism I wanted to propose.
Okay, yeah, masochism could be, yeah. So in a way, the pain is not a taboo as a pleasure in certain culture, in certain family. So in a way, you exist more when you suffer
Yes,
than when you get pleasure. So suffering can be a way, an opposite way to exist.
yes.
Okay.
And martyrdom, because it's also very connected to religion.
Okay, yeah. In a way, pain is more moral accepted than pleasure, yeah.
Yes,
So people who have this moral dimension, they tend to turn in masochistic people, yeah. And in a way, masochistic is a way to get pleasure from the pain, yeah.
yes,
So
yes.
it's an interesting mechanism, yeah. Okay, okay. Anka, Bogdan, do you prefer this relation with pain than pleasure, just for fun? So did you feel less guilty when you suffer than when you get pleasure, I guess? Or you don't see yourself in this dynamic?
I don't think I reject pleasure, right? Maybe certain forms of pleasure, but I think it's hard to reject pleasure entirely because you don't always call it pleasure. You can call it, it has different forms.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. But what about pain? How, do you feel less guilty when you suffer?
I don't like pain.
That's
That's for sure.
okay,
I,
but you feel
yeah,
less guilty.
maybe.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, maybe if I suffer, I feel
A good person.
less guilty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus suffered for humanity, yeah. So it was good. Jesus was good because suffering, he got the suffering of all humanity, yeah. All the sins of the humanity, he was dying for us.
Yeah. I don't have that kind of pleasure.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
You're not like Jesus, you're saying.
No.
Okay, good to know, good to know. And Anka, what is your relationship with pain? Do you accept more pain than pleasure?
I think I do.
Okay. So do you tend to be a bit masochistic, like Luisa proposed before, or no?
Yes.
Okay, okay. But you get pleasure out of it, or no?
Uh, it's more like enduring. Yeah,
I don't understand. Can you explain?
like when you endure, it's not that I get pleasure, but I just endure it. It feels normal to. Uh, do you know what endure means?
No? Can you translate another
Uh,
way?
endurance. When you.
Endurance to
Yes,
to survive through something,
yes.
basically.
Okay, but still,
Resilience,
what?
resilience maybe, or
That's different.
resistance.
Just
Or endurance like an athlete, you know.
to be quiet about it, not complaining.
Okay, but still is a form of pleasure.
I'll think about it, but I don't know.
Okay.
I have a history of being sick very much when I was a baby, and I had lots of shots and stuff like that. And at some point I wasn't crying anymore. It was just,
Oh, you mean you accepted that condition?
yeah.
Okay, okay,
More
but
like
you don't
stoic.
know what. Oh, yeah,
That's more
stoic,
like stoic.
stoic person. Yeah, you surrender to the heaviness of the existence, the sickness of the existence. Yeah,
Yeah.
but you don't feel pleasure when you are in that condition. You're
Mm,
just used to, let's say.
yeah, more used to.
Okay, okay. All right. It's interesting because I noticed that everyone has a tendency to be or more masochistic or more sadistic. Yeah. It's two opposite way to relate with the idea of pleasure. and suffering. Yeah. So
Mm.
yeah, suffering. So you get pleasure out of your own suffering, masochistic. You get pleasure of other people's suffering, sadistic. Yeah. All right. But okay, now we have to switch from the exercise I want to propose, and then I will let you conclude about the meeting. So basically, today we were supposed to speak about problematization, and since like Luisa proposed at the beginning, gluttony let's say, okay, is mainly about food, but sometimes gluttony is used as a form of general greedy, yeah, when you are touched too much about something. So I have a question for each of you, which is what am I attached to the most in life? Let's say, right, I repeat, what am I attached to the most in life? And this is the first question I invite you to answer. And the second task is once you answer your question, try to problematize your own answer. Yeah? Problematize means to find a problem, to ask a question that raise a problem or show something, yeah, problematic in your answer. So first, answer the question. What am I attached to the most in life? Do you have the doc? Where is it, the doc? Let's see. Luisa, do you have the doc? No, okay.
No, I don't have it now.
Okay,
But I
I
think
will,
it's the same that you were working, because I didn't come to the previous sessions, of course.
yeah, now let me check it and I will share with you, but you can already start to think your answer.
Hmm. Where do we write?
Yeah, now I'm sharing with you.
Ah,
All right, so share the link. I put in chat the link. You should be able to try to modify. Tuck.
So in the Word document, we should answer the question, what are we most attached to?
Exactly. And
Okay.
second task to problematize your own answer. If you're not able, don't worry, we're gonna help you to problematize your answer. And please type your name before answering, so we know that your that answer is yours. Yeah. Turin, you didn't write anything. A problem to choose?
No. I'm writing in
Okay.
a different document and then I will copy paste.
All right, all right.
I think I'm finished.
Okay. Okay. I see everybody wrote something. Okay, let's start from Andrea. Andrea, you there?
Yes.
Can you show yourself so
Yeah.
I feel more, okay, more safe?
No problem.
Not robot, not robot. Okay,
Mm.
so Andrea, what did you answer to the question?
The people around me, my family, my friends.
Okay, so can you pick what there are in common between family and friends that represent for you the most important thing?
Okay. I think I don't know, the connection, the relationships,
Okay,
the
connection,
yeah,
connection. For you, connection is very important in your life, yeah?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you are attached to connection. So you are afraid to lose connection, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, good, good. Now, can you find an objection, a question, uh, in order to problematize your, let's say, main value in life? It's part of philosophical practice. Is to challenge yourself, which doesn't mean that that value is not worthy.
Mm-hmm.
I understand you. I think is it worthy? But can you create a problem in yourself? If you're not able, we're gonna ask the group to ask you a question or to problematize for you your own statement. So first, can you write now before you problematize a sentence with the idea of connection, which includes friends and family?
Okay, let me think about it. So I think should I write it or should I say it or
Write on the doc. Yes.
uh, um so a sentence with connection and it involves family and friends. Okay. Um, um, okay. Done.
Okay. Can you read it?
Yes, connection is the life of the relationship between me and my family and my friends.
Okay. When you say life, you mean the core, the
Yes,
center.
because like there is no life without connection.
Okay, okay. So without connection, you feel dead.
Yes.
Okay, all right, all right. Now, can you find a problem or a question that push you to reason uh, in a different direction that maybe conflict with this uh, paradigm?
I think maybe that we shouldn't depend on other people to have
Okay,
to live or
okay, okay. Interesting. You spot a nice problem here.
Yeah.
How can you conceptualize this problem in one word?
Um, maybe the word depend, because
Okay, dependency. When you
yes, dependency. Yes,
okay, okay. Let me propose to you another one, which is
yes, please. Mhm.
from let's say philosophy, is heteronomy.
Okay.
Do you know heteronomy? Is the opposite of autonomy. When you
Yeah.
autonomy, you're free. You can take decision.
Yeah,
You
you can do it by yourself. Yeah.
yeah. While when you are heteronomy, you depend on something
Yeah.
external. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the problem you spot?
Yes, I think this is it. Yeah.
Okay, nice, very good, Andrea. And now, can you formulate a question in order to, let's say, raise this problem to your own self?
Yeah, what would happen if I wouldn't have friends or family in my life?
Okay.
Could I live without it,
Okay. Okay. And how would you answer that question?
I think I couldn't live without it.
Okay. So you really depend on others, right?
Yes, really.
And what's the problem? The main problem that this dependency, this addiction, let's say,
Yeah.
creates in your life.
Well, it creates the constant need to have somebody in my life around me, like either friends, either family.
Okay, you cannot stay by yourself.
Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah.
Okay. So the problem is that you are escaping constantly for your own solitude.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. So let's see if someone else in the group has a question or a sentence that can help you to uh, problematize this idea. So
Yes, please.
Andrea cannot stay with herself. She needs others to escape from herself. Yeah. That's why she likes so much connections. Yeah. Give us some. Let's give some time. So otherwise, if nobody, I have one question for you, but
Okay.
I want to give priority to the group. Okay, Luisa.
Can you find one thing that is good in solitude?
Okay, Andrea, can you answer?
I think maybe rest when you're resting.
Okay. You know what does it mean about you, about your life? That you don't rest so much.
Don't rest there. Okay, fair enough.
Okay. So you are a bit exhausted, in burnout. No?
Not
Yes?
yet.
Not yet. But you are getting near. Yeah. Okay. Okay. You see, reconcile with yourself, with your solitude, with the idea that you don't connect with others. In a way, would let you to get more rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be less exhausted. You see,
Mhm.
this is a typical way to problematize, which doesn't mean that connections are not good. The problem is that when you absolutize connection so
Yeah.
much that you cannot be without it,
Mhm.
cannot live without it. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Luisa. Another question for Andrea.
Thank you, Lisa.
Someone else? It can be also, let's say, a question to explore the problem, the issue. We saw that the issue that Andrea has is to spend time with herself. Yeah. So maybe we could follow this direction to help her to see what's wrong with herself. Yeah. Luisa?
What makes you anxious when or afraid when you spend time only with yourself?
Yeah, this is a good question, but I don't know the answer.
She she's so worried about connected with others that she cannot ask herself this question. Yeah.
Yeah, I can ask, but I don't have the answer.
You don't have any
Actu-
clue, Andrea?
I don't know. But I don't know. I think I can read a book. I think I can do a puzzle. I think I can.
Okay.
Let's do
Okay,
another
now
question.
Luisa, I go back to you, but and then Bogdan. But let me just help you to reason a bit, Andrea.
Yeah.
Usually, when we escape from something, it means that we have a fear about something. Do you agree?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So do you agree that you have a fear connected to the idea to stay by yourself?
Yes.
Okay. Can you name this? I mean, can you say what's the biggest fear in staying to yourself, or is too
Yes,
hard?
I think that I'm afraid I will feel lonely, not alone, but lonely.
Okay. Lonely, it means without connections.
Yes, yes.
And
So,
I mean, what's wrong in being without connection? Why is so terrible? You know that there are people, for example, eremites, they
yeah, I know.
love so much to stay by themselves.
I respect this. I don't understand it, but I respect it. I could
So,
never.
okay, I know you are not that type of people, but why for you is so terrible to be alone?
I don't know.
Okay,
So,
let's see if
sorry.
we have some proposal from Bogdan. You wanted to say something?
I wanted to propose a question.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay,
um,
go on.
but,
Then we're gonna back at the end about the fear of being with oneself.
can you have a relation with yourself that would be the same as a relation with others?
Okay, Andrea, can you connect with yourself?
Yes,
Can you have a connection with yourself or no?
Yeah, I think so. Yes. There is one time when I like to be alone. It's when I go with my bicycle outside of the city.
Okay,
Then I like to
okay.
be alone.
And when you cycle, you accept to be alone and you like it as well.
Yes, I like it. Yes.
Okay, but you
I
need to
choose to
move.
go alone.
You need to move to stay by yourself.
Ah, yes.
You cannot stay by yourself and still and there, right?
Still and in quiet and by myself, man. No.
You know,
We don't do
I
that here.
last year I read an aphorism by Pascal. You know, Blaise Pascal is
Yes.
a French philosopher. He wrote in Les Pensées, I pensieri, the thoughts. Yeah, one thought was, I'm pretty sure that if every human being could stay by himself in one room for one day without doing anything, he would be happy.
Okay.
And
Yes.
the most of the problem of his life would be solved. Yeah. So
Okay.
it's the opposite of you, this
Yes.
basically.
This
Okay.
is true.
Okay. So, okay, Bogdan, interesting. She likes us. She find a connection with herself, but she need to move. She cannot stay inside the room or in the darkness or stuff like that. Okay, Luisa, you wanted to propose something else? And then,
I wanted to switch a bit the question into another question that would be, when you are with other people, do you feel more connected or more disconnected to yourself?
okay, what would you
Oh,
say,
wow,
Andrea?
this is a good question. I think I feel more connected to myself.
Okay,
How?
so you need other as a bridge to connect
Yeah.
with yourself.
Yeah, true. Yes.
But I would like to check this. I mean, how do you feel more connected to yourself?
So I can observe myself when I'm with other people, and I think about stuff like, "Well, I'm so happy right now," or "I feel so good just being myself with this person," or things like I can check how do I feel right now.
Mm-hmm. So you need an alterity actually to be able to be in contact with yourself
Yeah, just
and
as
to see it
Andrea said,
from
it's a bridge.
from the
Yeah.
exterior.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now let's forget a bit about Andrea, but I invite all the group to try to define how would you define a person who, I mean, who needs other people to connect with herself.
An extrovert.
Extrovert? That's a nice way to put it. Yes. Okay. What other comments about this person? in general person, abstract person. Anka, you're smiling. So I guess you're thinking something.
Yes, but it's not very philosophical.
We like everything here. Okay, go on.
There is this some kind of model that is in fashion right now that's called human design, which there are some people who are split definition, which means their centers are not connected and they need some other people to bridge the connection between like what they feel and what they think. For example, it's hard for them to process things by themselves. So this is one theory of
And what do you think is the main difficulty these people have? What's their main problem?
oh, they feel like they have uh, more voices like in their head, or
Chaos. Chaos.
okay, yeah, chaos
More
could be.
voice is a metaphor to say a lot of stuff in a disordered way, so it's chaos. No?
Yes, okay, yeah.
Okay, so in a way, other people is a way to deal with the oneself chaos. You feel more safe when you are with others. Otherwise, you're afraid to lose yourself in your chaos.
I don't know if it's about safety or about communication, like you use the word bridge, like yeah, it's like I don't know how, yeah. So you say, because you say
If it's
safe,
not safety, what is it?
understanding, I guess.
Okay, understanding or safety. Luisa, you want to propose?
I wanted to propose before the concept of insecurity. I think Andrea's problem might be insecurity.
Explain.
She doesn't feel secure to be on her own, so she needs other to bridge her connection to herself, to mediate the connection
Okay.
with herself. She feels insecure with herself.
Do you agree that in your proposal there is an echo of the idea of safety? Yeah, she feels
Yes,
more safe
yes,
with
yeah, of
others.
course.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Andrea, do you feel more safe with others when you are yourself? Or
Yeah.
okay, okay. So it must be a real danger to stay by yourself. You know
I
what?
don't know. I've never done it. No, I'm just kidding.
And Andrea, you know, there are some people, I don't know why, but they have such a bad conception about themselves. They see the worst things inside themselves. So they need to escape outside with others to spend time to distract themselves or sometimes to reveal themselves, but they need others that are there with them. Otherwise, they cannot bear themselves. Yeah. All right, interesting. Did you like this exercise of problematization? And
Yes.
why did you like, Andrea?
Because I think I wouldn't have never asked myself the questions which you guys asked me. So thank you.
So you use us as a connection to
Yeah.
explore yourself.
See, connection is important.
Yes, yes. But you know what? We have an exercise. It could be good for you, even if it would be very difficult. It is difficult in general. It's called self-consultation.
Okay.
So if you want to know how it works, ask Alex. He can. You have a contact with Alex? Are you in contact, Andrea?
No. But I can ask. No.
Okay, you can ask him. Do you live in Timișoara, Andrea?
Yes.
Okay, so you can contact Alex. He has this space when he does this workshop with people, even newcomers, let's say. And you can learn how to question yourself by yourself. But of course, for you, it would take a big effort since you prefer to do that through other people. But believe me, if you are able to do it, it could be a good, let's say, turning point for you in your life as well. Yeah.
But isn't a kind of introspection? This.
Yes, but it's more an inner dialogue, yeah, with yourself.
Okay.
So, for example, you should be able to formulate this question to yourself, the same question or the other question we did to you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I
But
understand.
you can ask the exercise to Alex and he will explain to you. Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, we meet every Saturday from 2 o'clock to 4 at Bastion 1. So you can come there and practice with us.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So if Andrea comes, maybe you could propose a self-consultation workshop. Yeah. So you can learn how to dialogue
Maybe
with
not
yourself.
not from the beginning. That's harsh
Not
for
from the start.
beginners.
Okay, okay. Maybe at the as a final exam of the course, yeah. Okay, any now comments, general comment about the exercise we have been doing with Andrea? Observation from outside. Andrea, is your first time this time about practice, philosophical practice? Or
Yes.
you... Okay. So, observers, you had the opportunity to see a new person dealt with the philosophical practice. Did you notice anything interesting? Did you connect with Andrea?
I did connect with this
You
need for connection.
oh, you identify with her. Yeah, you
Yes.
identify. You see, you have a friend already, Andrea.
Yeah.
Okay. Anka, you were saying?
I wanted to say that I need to leave.
Okay. You know that Andrea will be sad because she will lose a connection. But anyway, that's
I'm
life.
That's okay.
sorry, but I'm already late for a like.
See you next time, Anka. Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bogdan, any observation? Sorin?
I was thinking that I also identify somehow with this problem of being with myself for a long time,
Okay.
but I also enjoy it sometimes, and I need it.
Can you say to Andrea what is enjoyable in staying with oneself?
Not being distracted by other people's problems, let's say, or
Okay.
perspectives.
And what do you think is necessary in order to start enjoying the time and the space with yourself? What is more important? What you have to face or you have to do it in order to be able to enjoy? Smoking. No, I'm joking. By the way, there are people that use the smoking as a way to connect with themselves, you know? Are you one of them?
Okay, so I can try.
No, no, don't do it.
Good question.
You see, they take a time inside during the day. They just start with themselves, with their own thoughts. Yeah, they deal with and that's a way to connect. I'm not saying it's good, but it's a way to connect with oneself.
It eases the connection a little bit. So when the connection becomes hard,
Yeah,
so when it raises difficult problems in the thoughts, in the mind, then smoking can make some
flow.
order, let's say. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Anyway, what do you think is necessary in order to enjoy the time with oneself? Can you say to Andrea?
What is necessary? No, I cannot say.
Okay, Luisa,
To value yourself is necessary.
explain.
To see yourself as worthy to spend time with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in a way, if you think you're bad, you would tend to prefer to stay with others than with yourself.
Yes.
Okay, makes sense, Andrea?
Yes, yes, it does.
Okay, so that could be a chance to change a bit your idea about yourself. Because if you think that's the idea of Socrates, by the way. You are what you think. Yeah. If you think you're bad, you behave like if you were bad, even if you are not bad. What is
Yeah.
important is what is in your mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Bogdan, you want to say something about this exercise with Andrea?
Yes. I noticed that the dialogue was very smooth in the sense that there was a discussion about sensible things that makes us vulnerable, but there was no everything was it was very easy. And I was
Okay.
wondering,
Yeah.
what are we doing normally that it's very hard to discuss these subjects?
Oh, you were wondering why we don't do it so naturally and easily, even in other contexts?
Yes.
Okay, and do you have an idea to explain why or no?
So, yeah, what I saw that, or what you say, very simple ideas. You don't dramatize, so you follow some rational rules like problematization of an idea.
Did you notice that irony is important in the process
Mhm.
in order to soften the process? Because, in people there are big drama usually, and if you put your heaviness there, you're not going so far. Yeah. So to be soft, to be ironical, and it's very important in this job. Did you notice?
Yeah, I noticed in general, I didn't notice at you how you do it. And yeah, I noticed at Oscar, for example, and
Yeah.
at Samuel. But yeah, maybe also you do it also.
He's being
Yeah.
playful. He plays. It's like a ping
Mm.
pong game. He's inviting a partner to speak as he would invite somebody to play a ping pong game.
Yeah, with the difference that I don't want to win here. I
You
don't
don't
have
want to win. Yeah, of
yeah.
course.
I just have to enjoy. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a play.
So
It's
in a way,
playful.
Bogdan, yes, if you want to do is to do this, you need to bring the pleasure. You have to use the pleasure. Yeah. Because
Yes.
if you don't enjoy the process, clients are heavy usually, and instead of help them to reason, they will take you down in their own tragedy. Yeah. So to be able to enjoy, feel pleasure, to play, to be ironical is an important part of this job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, why people don't do it? Maybe for the same reason why Andrea is avoiding to stay with herself, because the most difficult thing Socrates said is knowing yourself. Yeah, because to know yourself, you have to accept yourself. If you don't accept yourself, you are going to escape from yourself. So it's about accepting and basically loving. If you don't love, you cannot accept. If you don't accept, you cannot know. So I think that in a way, the answer to your question is very maybe simple but general answer. It's a matter of love. Yeah. And philosophy is the love of wisdom, yeah? And it's love of yourself as well. If you want to have wisdom about yourself, make sense, Bogdan?
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
So in a way, humanity doesn't love enough herself in order to speak about themselves, about to understand themselves. Do you like this conclusion, Andrea?
Yes, I do. I'm enjoying this.
Can you start to love a bit more yourself, or it's impossible?
It's not impossible. It's not.
Okay, so I will give you a homework like I did with Sorin last time. For next time, you have to love more yourself.
Okay. This is
Then,
a nice homework. I never got this in school.
and then in 2 weeks, I will check if you completed the homework. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I see that the time is over, so we can stop here. And in 2 weeks, we're gonna have the next workshop. I forget about what. Let me check. Okay, it's about wrath, and then we conclude in 4 weeks about with sloth. Sloth. So we have 2 scenes more to explore and to see how we relate with this scene in our existence. So thank you, everybody. See you in 2 weeks.
Thank you. It was
Thank
nice
Thank you
meeting you
you.
too.
all.
Thank you. Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.